Good evening. Welcome back to the Sex Dungeons and Dragons podcast. I am here joined by my two co-hosts, Chase, and for the first fucking time, back with us,
Ryan.
And I believe we last left off with a goat and a mansion. So, how have you guys been, and how do you think that from this goat how do you think it's going to progress well with your fucking mansion? I am pissed off about this fucking mansion.
We should preface this by saying we haven't recorded in 3 weeks.
Listen, I hate editing. Editing's a bitch.
Well, yeah, editing is a bitch, but at the same time, this mansion is great. Okay? You can be pissed off all you want, but Poppy Mint is very much so living in luxury while at the same time living on the road. And that is a wish I think every human wants.
No.
He got right up in the mic for that.
Alright, so where do we leave off?
Well, we left off on the last day that had to be, or that was intended for the construction of the wagon. We described what it was supposed to look like and what it would eventually look like, but we never talked about what the last day was. So the last day was an absolute clusterfuck with this wagon, since we had to make sure it was finished before we could take it and leave.
Well, also, he hadn't even bought the goat yet.
Yeah.
He bought the cart before the goat.
Yeah, didn't you say that, you persuaded the goat to allow you to give it scratches?
Yes.
Scritchies was the actual term.
I'm too pissed off to say that at the moment. No, they're this early in the game, day 3, you should not have a fucking mansion.
No, this wasn't day 3, I don't believe. This is like day 8.
Oh.
We fast forward through a lot of time while we were in that town, simply because we had to wait for a lot of shit to happen. So it was a lot of people just sitting around and studying. Like, for example, one of our characters, Doge, he was just going to the library every day and reading up on everything he could in terms of the other characters' races, so he could figure out what they were weak to, so he could cover that in the event that we needed to.
Which
okay.
At the current moment in our campaign, Doge knows nothing other than the fact that Poppy Mint cannot tell a lie.
And he knows that our dragon, Pratha, is a dragon, and that's about it.
Shit, well, okay, so, like, is he, like, looking up, like, resistance in case any of y'all, like, act out towards him?
No, he's just looking to be a real Chad and guard us just in case something bad were to happen.
Ah, I think he's secretly trying to kill y'all, but alright.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like Poppy Mint really doesn't care.
Okay, well...
What the fuck? Why are you rubbing that piece of candy up against the mic?
He wants to brag that
Yes.
he's got candy.
This is now an
Flex on the
ASMR
viewers.
channel. Fuck all of you. So Doge right now, he is...
And we should have him
studying.
on at some point, too, because his point of view for a lot of this stuff is hilarious.
I would love to have him on. So, yeah. He's studying.
Yep.
Fibblethip, is he back from destroying the raiders?
Yes, because we came back with him. So he would have been spending this time probably looking for more equipment or just getting drunk. I think those are his 2 moods.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Alright. So then we have Poppy Mint dangling with his mansion. And we have... What's Ranjan doing?
Ranjan is also with him in terms of when he's getting the goat and then the last day of building the wagon mansion.
Okay.
So after we got the goat, I think we went to...
Well, we paid for the craft of the cart.
We paid for the craft of the cart.
Then he went straight to buying the goat. Then now he's got to help finish the cart to make sure he can actually take it.
Yeah, so Ranjan was helping with that, except I'm a lazy fuck, so I just went and fell asleep in the corner reading a book.
Fair enough.
By the way, the book was the Necronomicon.
Yeah. Yep.
So.
But at this point in time...
Oh, and I still had Slim Jim with me by this point, too. Slim Jim was very much with me.
The fucking face hugger.
The face hugger that I made.
Oh, that's...
I love it.
Oh, that's disgusting.
It's the best thing ever. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
It's a bug, so the Fae absolutely love it. They may know something's wrong with it, but they love it.
All right. Well, what's Ezri doing now? What's Ezri doing now?
She
with
was
Bethany?
busy talking with Bethany's father, so we actually haven't met her mother yet, about taking Ezri with us as we go on our adventure, in terms of, because, she has a big crush on this gnome.
Yes.
So she would like her to travel with us, and we have to convince the father that, hey, we're doing this for political things, so that she gets training on how to be a good politician while she's out. So there's a lot of heartfelt stuff, but that doesn't happen until after Ranjan and Poppy Mint get back. So we can talk about that.
Yeah.
We can actually talk about it right now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so this is basically after we had just got done building the wagon, and this is basically the last one of the 2 nights we were there. One of the last 2 nights, I mean. So, everybody was kind of... All the characters were, like, in the kitchen or the dining room. I don't really remember how we set up the house. But we were all together eating, and Bethany kind of brings up, hey, Dad, I want to travel with Ezri because she's a cool friend. Because, she's clueless at this point as to the truth of everything.
Well, given that the rest, like her last role with observing what the hell a love song was, she's really fucking dense.
She was something along the lines of, cool, and nat 1.
Oh, shit.
So, she had no clue the intent that Ezri had. So, yeah. So she just thought this was a friendly thing and it'd be good for life experience. And it is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's also a point of this, but it's not the main point, per se. So she was like, Dad, I want to go with them and explore the world and become a better politician and make good ties with cities. And the dad was like, no. So then Ranjan pulled out his instrument and gave people bardic inspiration. And it improved their roles just enough so that she could come with us. I don't remember how the exact conversation goes.
Did we ever mention the favors?
We did not talk about the favors.
Okay.
We can talk about those later if we have the DM on, because I know he knows what a lot of those were and how those affected the story.
Okay.
All right. Then...
Got to save some content for the future.
All right. So we are planning for Ezri next time we record, whatever the hell that's going to be. So,
Probably in 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hold on, let's roll a d20 for how long it's going to be. Oh, I got a 4.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
4 weeks. That's on average.
Yeah.
Still editing the first video with the video part. You guys
Also-
are gonna love it.
Also, comment in the comment section what you want the background to be, because we just have a Minecraft Let's Play in the last one.
I think it's lovely, and I think you guys should stay for the Minecraft or the podcast. All right, it's a 2-sided dagger, but it's for the best. It's for the best.
So yeah, just comment what you want to see. We'll try to put it in.
I'm rooting for paint drying. Sounds very fun.
We could actually do that, though.
We
have
we
paint
could.
right over there.
I have spray paint and like blue and red paint.
The background is just us painting random crap while this is going. I mean, I'd be fine
We
with
could
that.
always do Bob Ross videos where we're just painting.
And we have subtitles of what we're saying.
Oh God!
Let us know.
Subtitles.
No, I'll help with that.
Okay.
Yeah, let us know. Anyway, continuing on with the D&D story. So, eventually she convinces her dad to let her go with us.
Excuse me.
Most people would edit that out. We are Chads and are not.
Nah, I'm not leaving that.
No.
I'm leaving that in.
Good.
All right.
We should totally.
So basically, it was like our last night, and the mayor was like, "Okay, we're gonna give you a cart, and the rules are whenever you go to a town. By the way, you have to go to these towns in Kansas. So it's like 10 towns to go to in the grasslands.
In any order at any time, though, so we don't have to stop at them until like 500 years.
Yeah,
As long as we get to them.
and then we have to send a mail out, a letter through the mail. It's like, hey, we got here. Your daughter's alive. Here's proof, and he'll send us like 100 gold.
Shit.
We have to break it up amongst our group, but it doesn't matter.
I thought it was substantial compensation for everyone.
Well, we have to ask Isaac.
I think those were the rules.
We'll have to ask Isaac. He would know better.
Well, he's a heckin' mayor, so I don't think he's holding back on any funds for his daughter's
I
safety.
don't really think he's hurting for money right now.
Yeah. I'm like, says the motherfucker that stole from him.
Yeah.
Hey,
Legit $2,000.
Hey, I gave it back eventually.
After he interrogated you.
And then, to make up for it, I got the items that the whatever was.
I
he a
forced
mob?
you to do that.
Hey, But I was the one doing the work and finding those items. Everybody else was fucking off, playing with other people.
Oh, also... fuck.
Oh, great, thanks.
Also, I believe I mentioned that Ron John got a bone dowsing rod.
Oh, how so?
It was one of the items that was at the bandit camp, which we need to talk later because I know your party also came into possession of some bone items.
I really wanted to talk with you about that bone item.
No. We'll save that for another time because I talked to Isaac about those, and as long as you're willing to agree to not metagame that for your party, we can have big discussion about those because they do some interesting shit when they all get together.
Oh yeah, I know what they do. So
you were aware?
How
Yeah, me
big
too.
of a bone?
I have 2 of these things. You have 1.
Yeah, but there's still 2 more out there.
I know.
And I know where I can find them. Because that's what the bone dowsing rod does.
I know. Yeah. All right, but continuing on, not leaving out, not hinting to any more. Let's continue on with the story. So are you guys about to leave this?
This is the night before we leave the town, so it's goodbyes, making sure everybody has everything.
Goodbyes. Mayor gets to take care of my goat until we leave.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, how much was the goat?
So because of my good negotiation skills, mainly with the scratching of the goat, we managed to get it for 2 gold, which was very cheap.
Yeah, that's definitely cheap.
And I paid for some of it.
No, you gave us silver because Slim Jim was terrorizing the guy.
You call it terrorizing, I call it negotiating.
Yeah, I mean, like, good.
Interrogating for
this.
what? We were after a goat.
No further questions, please. Okay, so we just got done packing. The morning comes around. I was doing some more research in the book because I am a Chad.
Yep.
We get up in our 2 wagons, his wagon and the wagon that the mayor gave us, and we head off towards the grasslands.
Okay,
Which,
so about
by
this.
the way, Fibblethip was really pissed off about my wagon.
Yeah, he was he was threatening to smash the fucker. It was
Why?
hilarious. It just pissed him off.
Fair enough.
Like when we have Fibblethip on to interview, if we do,
We probably will.
we probably will.
It'll probably be a later episode though.
Yeah, we can ask specifically why that pissed him off. I'm sure it'll be a great story.
Well, at this time, you guys are leaving. You got the cart, and Phil's pissed. Do you have like another cart?
It's just the 2.
It's just the 2. Okay. So you do have your shit cart that you put all your stuff on, and then
It's not necessarily a shit cart. It's if you've ever played the Oregon Trail, it's very reminiscent of one of those with a cover on it, and it's a nice solid wood built one.
Yeah,
and it's got a bunch of little cubbies in it, like all the seats folded up. They were big enough for Fibblethip to sleep in.
Yeah.
In addition to storing stuff, Pratho was able to comfortably sit in the middle, and we could all have our legs spread out around her.
Okay.
So it's like she could be a table, and we all had our legs up against the table or something like that.
So a shit
Alright.
cart and Poppyman's cart. Got it.
Yeah, really, not saying anything here as everyone else with their plebeian cart, and then this motherfucker.
Which, by the way, the cart has a lawn.
Yeah, that's another thing that annoyed me. His cart has a lawn.
A lawn.
A lawn.
So you're gonna have to fucking cut that.
Well, he is a fairy. He has the ability to control his lawn.
He probably would never cut and just let it become a tiny jungle, and I could see that being very
Probably. He'll probably let like all the rats and like whatever like small.
He just has a farm of rats.
Yeah. Whenever he exits his house, it's just a massive army of skittering that he talks to. He's like, "Oh, hey, Bill."
Hey, Bill.
Except instead of rats, it would totally be
Insects.
giant ants.
It would be.
Yeah.
In one of our more recent sessions, he befriended an entire colony of giant ants. These ants, by the way, for our average viewer, look at the size of your thumb. We're talking from your thumb knuckle up to your thumb tip. That is the size of these boys.
Oh,
Reminder that Poppyman is the size of a Coke bottle.
God, duh.
So these are like his version of a chihuahua.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Jesus Christ. It's fucking disgusting.
Yeah. And he made one of those things go in my hair, but we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there
hilarious.
eventually.
We'll
get
get
there.
there eventually. They're cute.
They're cute.
Yeah.
Well, Poppymint can talk to the bugs, so
Yeah, you
for
can.
him, it's like whatever you would find cute, multiply that by 10 because you could speak to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. I want eventually my character to speak animal. He can speak celestial, abyssal, and common right now. So, languages is something that he wants to know.
Ranjan is fluent in speaking tits.
Ah,
Yes.
yes. As one does.
Yes.
Good evening, Mrs. Warloff. Hello.
Hello, tits.
Hello, tits.
Okay, so we set out onto our big boy journey. At some point, we found another destroyed, wrecked, however you want to put it, cart. We looted the shit out of that.
Yep.
I don't remember what we found. I don't think we found anything actually worth our time.
No, it just had a bunch of dead bones, and we were like, hey, cool,
Yeah.
let's go.
There was
We
a
don't
chest
care
that we had
anymore.
issues breaking into, but we eventually got into it. I think it was just some money.
Yeah, we did all get a equal split of a very small amount of money, but other than that, there was a dead body around it, and
We didn't
could
roll
tell
good for the
another
treasure
dead body was
nearby.
pulled away. But as much as we wanted to go, we just didn't care.
Yeah.
As one does.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were on a schedule. Anyway, so we kept setting off, and then we had an encounter. Mind you, this is about 2 weeks after we departed, so
Yeah.
we've been on the road for a while, and then we were just about to the city. Like, the city was actually off in the distance. We could have seen it from our cart.
Oh, okay.
And we got jumped by some gnolls. Is that what they were? They were dog people.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it was a band of about 6 of them, and this is actually the first time Pratha ever did her flying combat, which was a very interesting
Oh, so
thing.
Bratha can fly.
Pratha can fly. She just needs like a runway to catch up some speed and then take off.
Christ.
Yeah, it's pretty OP. It's very OP because the entire time she was just bombarding. Like, I'm sure some people have seen How to Train a Dragon.
Yeah.
Oh boy, she was doing the shit that Toothless would do, flying around and just bolting things and then taking
Oh, so
off.
she can do fire breath magic.
She does ice breath,
Oh my god.
so she would just freeze shit solid and then fly away.
Yeah. No.
It was
definitely
overpowered.
OP. That's definitely OP. Yeah.
So she was doing that to kind of immobilize some of their boys, and we would go in and kill them. That encounter took probably in game like 5 minutes, if that, because there was a lot of time where we were trying to get closer to each other.
Okay.
They went after Bethany at some point, but Fibblethip yeeted the fuck out of one of those. Like, we're talking hammer to the face, yeeted it.
Shit. Is that the mana hammer? That
It was his mana hammer, but he didn't use its ability yet.
Got it.
He still has his charge on that, I think. Eventually it got down to the point where I had to sacrifice Slim Jim, as one would. I sent Slim Jim out to neutralize a boy with his web,
Yeah.
and he stayed on its face, and somebody cast a fireball on it. Not that big of a deal. It only had 1 HP anyway. So Slim Jim died, unfortunately.
An entire fireball.
Oh, that was Poppy Mint's fault for Slim Jim?
Yeah.
Yeah.
An entire fireball.
Not to kill Slim Jim. That was to kill who Slim Jim was on.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So it wasn't that big of a deal. Plus, I upgraded immediately after the fight. So after the fight,
Upgrade?
we'll get to that.
Oh.
Yeah, it's very sexy.
It's very hilarious. So
I think I
it was down to
there,
just
but
the
yeah.
leader. I was only the leader of the Knolls left. I cast Bardic Inspiration on the leader, and he was doing a one-on-one fight with Fibblethip. Fists.
Oh, so you guys were just
We got in a circle and we're like, fight, and they
Oh my
fought
God.
fist to fist. It was hilarious. And I gave a bunch of buffs to the enemy just because Fibblethip would have wanted an even fight. So he was actually like, hey, Bard, buff this boy. And I was like, okay, buffs. This fucker got like +2 to his AC and a bunch of other shit that I could do at the time. I don't have the spells anymore because I've since diversified into more stealth and charisma-based things as opposed to buffs.
okay.
So, so they fight. In about 2 minutes, he's dead. And Fibblethip basically ended his life by snapping his neck and literally yeeting the hammer into his dick and annihilating it.
Shit.
So we all pile back into our carts to go away. But Ranjan gets a big idea.
Yep.
As you know, he can revive dead things with demon souls. So naturally, as one would,
Yes, of
he
course.
grabs the leader's body and 2 of the heads from the other gnolls.
Great.
If you can see where I'm going from this. Everybody sees me doing this, by the way.
Oh, they all see
They all
you.
see this and they're like, what the
with
fuck?
the exception of Poppy Mint, everyone in the party was horrified.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Poppy's view on magic, when asked, because Ranjan is his son, was more of, Well, I'm just glad that he's doing something.
It's hilarious.
You sound... What the fuck? You sound like the parents that's like, oh, I don't want you to smoke weed, so here's some of mine.
Some of mine.
No, it's more of the, I don't want you to buy weed, so I'll buy it for you.
God.
Yeah. Anyway, so they all see me get this fucker in a cart and start setting up salt rings, and they're like, hold up. The fuck are you doing? I'm like, I'm gonna make another boy. And they're like, another boy? What was the first boy? I'm like, Slim Jim. And they're like, that's where you got that fucker? Apparently they had no idea. So Bethany was mortified.
Oh, shit.
Esri was very uncomfortable. Fibblethip was like, that's not cool. And everybody else was just like, no. So we eventually stopped for the night, a couple yards or a couple miles away from the city. It was basically just right over the cliff, but we wanted to roll in during the day.
Right.
So we set up camp, and I started dragging the body parts away, and Doge started following me.
Yeah.
So I go off to the middle of the woods. I take the 2 dog boy heads and the leader's dog body, and I basically make a buffer 6-foot-tall Cerberus.
Oh, my
And I named
God.
him Big Penis Steve. Even though he did not have a dick at this point.
So...
Yeah.
Well, he is very useful because, number 1, he is attractive because, very buff.
Yeah.
And number 2, he's strong, so he could also possibly pick flowers.
The only downside to him was he would listen to me, but he was very bad at listening. He had a lot of free will. I made a very bad rule for the free will.
Yeah.
So he had a lot of that. He would listen to me and he would do what I said, and he, of course, was obedient, but not entirely.
He would
Yeah, he'd
also
just
do
go
his
off and
own
do his
thing.
own
He'd
which
go off and
is
do his own shit instead of just
very
waiting.
bad.
Yeah.
Like Slim Jim, when I said don't do anything, he would just crawl up onto the back of my skull and stay there. It was just what he would do. This boy, he would follow me, but if he saw a child to terrorize, he would go right for it.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Isn't like a demon in this thing, so...
yeah, it was still a demon.
Yeah.
It might have been a minor devil, actually, because of the rules, but not that big of a deal. Ranjan was planning on killing this boy at some point, because I noticed very quickly that he did not listen good.
Okay.
But that will resolve itself very soon.
Okay, so you're in the new town.
We're at the new town. We get to the gates, and, you know, the first thing they notice, it's Big Penis Steve.
Yes.
Yeah. What?
What's the question of the day? Most questions should... What?
No, because we
Random.
did that one.
Okay, so yes. My co-host over here, he's before we enter it, we want a random topic of the day. So,
Shall I play a theme song for this?
sure. Random topic of the day. Blah.
Random question of the day.
Okay, so what are you thinking for? If you are the one that came in here asking it and interrupting us, so what is it?
If you could have any color, why would it be 3?
Okay, so
Only
you're in
the stoned people in the audience can reply.
Okay, so we're in the city. No, I can't. No, we're in the city.
We're gonna cut
If you
that
could
off.
have a color, what would it be? In only 3? What the hell is going on in your mind?
You asked about animals last time.
Yeah, I asked, what's your opinion on buffaloes? Not what the fuck that was.
Once more.
Can I ask an actual question?
Sure, go ahead. We'll all ask questions, and then we'll all go on that.
Well, we can assume most of the people probably watching this either play D&D or fans of D&D. So I will ask, what is your favorite dice variety? Mine, for example, is the Cirrus set of Chessex. They look like clouds.
Mine, I don't know the correct name of them, but I just recently bought them, and they are silvery gray and black with gold numbering.
Oh, so they're the Gemini set?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I saw them. Yeah, those are Geminis.
Mm-hmm. All right, you
They're
Chase?
pink ones?
Yeah.
Those are the Cirrus set.
Okay. So they're pink and white with gold.
Yeah, this fucker got my favorite set of dice, but in pink instead of blue, basically.
All right, then.
It's
So
hilarious. And I bought them for him.
Once more, why is it 3?
Okay.
because there's not enough ice cubes on the fucking roof. I don't know, dude. I don't know.
Exactly. He got it right.
Because there's not enough ice cubes. What the fuck?
Okay, my question, I guess. So Pokemon Sword and Shield is recently coming out.
Yes.
What's your guys' opinion on it? Me personally, I don't like it because it's UK themed. Fuck that shit. What's your opinion?
I love the fact that it's gonna basically be steampunk Britain.
Oi, mate, you wanna have a fucking Pokemon battle?
Oi, chap, you be slacking for a right rapping, you do.
That's more Australian, if anything.
Yeah, that's the enemy team is probably going to be based on Australians, since the UK seems to not be very fond.
The prisoners are fighting back.
Oh my god.
All right, so going back in the city.
We were at the gate.
Yeah, you're at the gate.
We were at the front gate because a lot happens at the
Suddenly,
gate.
guard notices
Venus Steve.
big penis Steve.
Venus Steve, yeah. So they're like, excuse me, but what the fuck is that?
Fair enough. That's
Probably
That's a
would.
good assumption as to what they would act.
So Fibblethip is like, don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. I'll deal with it if it does anything bad, and you won't have to think about it. And they're like, but what is it? And he's like, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
And then they see Pratha, and they're like, oh, there's a dragon in here, too. Do we have to worry about that? And Pratha's just like, I will fucking eat you if you actually try to fuck with me.
Yes, because that's the point of yes.
And then he had to step in again and was like, don't worry, guys.
Yes.
It'll be fine.
Because we have a dragon in our party, and they say, oh,
I explained that it's my daughter.
Is she going to be a problem? Fuck you, I will eat you. That's
Yeah,
not a good dialogue. That's
not.
not a good dialogue. What the fuck?
So Ranjan then steps in and is like, don't worry, that's my daughter. I'll keep her in check. And they're like, we just have more questions now. And I was like, don't worry about it.
No further questions.
But Poppy Mint is not associating with the group because he just wanted in.
Yeah.
And
I'm part of the team. Hey!
They did not even bother with Poppy. They just saw the house and they're just like,
if you
go ahead, sir.
No, they saw the house and they said, you can enter with that, but if you keep it in one location for too long, we'll make you start paying taxes.
Yeah.
I mean, like, fair enough.
That is fair, yeah. So, we get into the city, we go to an inn, and we go sleep. Yeah, the inn is called the Half Moon Inn. We decided we're not going to do anything until the next day, correct? Is that what it was? We didn't do anything until the next day? Okay, so, the next day. So basically, when we get there, I go in. No, wait. We did do stuff on the first day.
You did?
Yes,
no,
because
so
the Venus was dealt with
No,
that day.
Yeah.
So basically, only Ranjan went into the inn, and I got enough rooms for everybody to share a room. No, everybody had their own room except Bethany and Esri. I made them share a room.
Because Poppy
Because
Mint
they're
being
girls.
the
Yes. That's why. Not because you want them to fuck or
Poppy
anything.
Mint being the devil on the shoulder that he was like, hey, this would be a great idea.
It was. It was hilarious.
It was? Okay.
Okay,
Tell
so-
me what happened from it.
No, well, we have to get there. There's a lot that happens between then and now.
Okay.
So I basically tell the innkeeper, like, hey, we'll pay for these rooms right now, but I'm a bard. I'll do performance if give free room. And he's like, okay, well, we're gonna have to listen to you tonight to make sure you're not garbage. And if you are garbage, you're paying double. And I'm like, okay.
Okay.
And he was like, oh, I also noticed you have a mayonnaise or a mayo phone on your back. And I'm like, yeah, what about it? And he's like, so you're like one of those dumb fucks that believes in mayonnaise. And I'm like, well, yes, but actually, no.
Fuck you.
And I basically explained to him, I was like, look, dude, I'm a performer first, so my religion doesn't matter while I'm performing. I'm not going to be preachy. And he's like, you better not be, because I ain't dealing with that shit.
Fair enough.
And I do an insight on him, and I noticed the color scheme of the entire inn is very similar to people that worship Worcestershire.
Ah.
Yes.
Yeah. Did we establish the gods?
Yes, we did in the first episode, I believe. But if we didn't completely, when we have Isaac on, he can help us go through those.
Okay.
So that'll be fun.
We can always go over the canons that everyone did later.
Yeah, that'll be a fun episode on its own.
That would be cool. That would be cool, yeah.
So I had everybody's room keys, and now I have to hunt everybody down. So I start going after all the players, getting them their keys. Pratha doesn't have a room because she's a dragon. She just sleeps out in the stables and makes friends with the stable boy.
Yeah.
So, there's a thing there. The first person I know where the location of is Esri and Bethany. So I head off with Poppy Mint on my shoulder to the mayor's building to go find them. And I get down there, And I'm like, hey, where are there's a gnome and a fucking fish. Where are they? And the bouncer's like, I ain't seen them. You gotta wait.
Oh, so it's a good thing to note that the rooms in this building are the perfect size for gnomes, but not really anybody else. So,
Yes. The entirety of the local government is made up of gnomes for this city.
Okay.
So everything in these houses, these buildings, is approximately 5'5". So Ron John is bending over when he's in the government building.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And the bouncer, who actually isn't even a gnome, is like getting winded just trying to, because they have a spiral staircase that goes up.
Yeah.
All through all the floors, and it's so small that essentially while he's going up and other people are going down, he's having to put through the effort of allowing people through.
Yeah. So he bounces me at the door because I'm like, I gotta go up to the mayor's office. I'm looking for these two girls. They gotta get their key. So he's like, no.
Oh, so he's just a dick right off the bat?
Yeah, he's like, you need an appointment to wait. I'm like, okay. So I pull Poppy, and I'm like, here, take the keys to them and go get this to them because this fucker's going to take 20 years to get up the stairs and tell them that I'm waiting for them. So the fat guy starts taking off the stairs, and by taking off, I mean at about a mile every century.
Oh, God.
He gets winded taking the first step, so I know
So
it's going
he's
to be a
one
while.
big fat fuck.
He is a very large boy.
God.
He's a big chungus, if you will.
Oh, okay. So
I give Poppy the key. I'm like, go up there, make sure they get their key. So he does. He flies up.
Invisible.
He flies up invisibly and gives them their key and like, here, Ron John wanted you guys to have this. Here's your room number, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then flies back down before the fat guy gets up there.
Which he did have the information to give them. So when he gets up there and tells them what's going on,
I'm
like,
looking.
oh yeah, we already know.
So
God.
and he misheard the names too. So we were looking for Bethany and an Esri. He's like, I'm looking for an Ezrethany and a Betha. And they're like, I think that's us. And he's like, some guy named Rim Jim is here to see him. And they're like, we already know. And he's like, oh. And he gets really depressed before he has to go down the stairs. And then I just leave. I just leave after that.
You heard that, man.
And then I knew that Artie and Fibblethip would be hitting up a bar. So I go after them to get their keys to them. I think I find them. No, I find Fibblethip at some point and give him his key.
Wait, was it the first night that Poppy Mint did his thing to their room?
Yes. All of that happened on the first night.
Oh, yes.
Wait, what?
So we'll get to it.
Okay.
During the moment, and I'm not sure if I actually we'll let Fibblethip tell this. I'm just gonna preface it by saying this: Fibblethip drunkenly does some dumb stuff, and he kills Big Penis Steve. I will not go into details on how he does that. When we have Fibblethip on, he will explain the story from his end because it's hilarious.
So you create meaty Cerberus
Yes.
just to have it die the night after.
Yes, and how he kills it is hilarious.
God damn it.
It's hilarious.
Alright then.
Okay, so we're at the night now. I've dispersed out all the keys. I find Doge at some point and give him his key.
Yeah.
I'm going out to perform, and I have some cool abilities as a bard that let me charm people in the audience to help me get better on my performance rolls. Mind you, I already have like a plus 12 to them because I'm a god.
Dear Christ.
Yeah, my performance gets a plus 9, and my charisma is a plus 4, so...
Hell yeah. I just got my charisma up to 18, so yeet.
Yeah. I essentially have an 18 in mine right now because of my sword.
Hell yeah.
Which I perform with because I'm a Chad. So I'm performing, I'm playing some hit singles such as Esri Wants to Fuck Bethany in A minor, which they actually walk in while I name the name of the song. So that's fun and interactive.
How do they interact? How did that happen? How did that happen?
Well, Poppy Mint can do this one because Poppy Mint had more involved with the aftermath of this.
Okay.
And then we'll come back to Ron John's fun concert.
So what Poppy Mint thinks is that she's gonna do something nice because she's pretty sure that these two people love each other, but she doesn't know. So as Ron John named the song Esri Wants to Fuck Bethany in A minor,
I was drunk when I named the song in game.
And so they saw that. They immediately went outside to discuss, but Poppy Mint was in the middle of doing his own stuff. So he snuck out a window as they were discussing, never heard anything because it was a separate window from where they were at, and goes to a florist.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And when he gets to the florist, he's like, hey, you're not that busy right now. Do you want to come help with a thing? And the florist, having no idea that Poppy Mint's about to break into their room just to decorate it, was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Poppy Mint, being the Chad that he was, put a gold on the table and said, do you want to go do a thing? Florist, after seeing the gold, agreed. And Poppy Mint essentially made the florist grab everything she can get onto her little florist cart that is pink or pink related. And
Just
is
for
like,
$100?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because there's more payment than just that. That was just the bribing of, hey, let's go do a thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Poppy Mint gets back to the inn with the florist. They sneak in a back door. And the florist had no idea what the hell Poppy Mint was going to do. And so when he gets to the door, he realizes, oh crap, I can't get in. So he casts, there's enough space between the door and the floor for him to be on, the ground and cast an invisible man inside.
Yeah.
Which is essentially this, servant of wind that can do very basic tasks. And so he had the invisible man open the door for him. And that freaks out the florist. She is asking so many questions about, hey, are you okay? Do I need to call help?
Well, yeah,
And
that would raise suspicion.
Then when Poppy Mint explains, no, I'm doing this for love, the florist, taken aback, had to ask the question, do you know what love is?
Do you know the muffin red one? Wait, what love is?
Yeah.
Christ, that's even a better one.
Do you even understand what the hell love is?
Baby, don't hurt me.
And
Don't copyright me.
me and the DM look at each other and we're like, well, he's not really human, so we need to roll a check to see if he understands or thinks he understands or absolutely doesn't know.
The concept of love, Poppy Mint?
Yeah.
Ah, shit, yeah. That's a good thing to roll.
Yeah.
So the roll we got was that he thinks he understands, but in reality, absolutely not. But it was enough of a roll to get the florist to be like, you're giving me a lot of money for this. Let's do it. And so their room is a single and doesn't really have much to it other than a desk and possibly a closet. I'm not sure about the closet. So as they're putting rose petals and all this stuff around, Poppy Mint realizes, oh wait, we need wine and candles. So he goes down to the innkeeper, tells him to grab the most romantic candles, gives him a gold, and put them in the room.
And they actually didn't have romantic candles. They just used their emergency candles.
But they were fresh candles.
They were fresh candles.
Oh, hey, it works.
And then he asks about all these different wines, eventually gives them a Moscato and a Riesling.
All right.
Definitely on the lighter side. He doesn't know their preferences.
Yeah.
So when
It's a general thing, yeah.
When he gets back to the florist, they finish prepping the room, and then they essentially turned it into the most pink explosion you can think of.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, what do they do when they get back?
Pink regurgitated in the room. Then Poppy Mint left.
You're not answering my question. What do they do when they left? When they got up there?
We'll get to that part. So then Poppy Mint sends the florist on her merry way with the rest of the payment. and goes invisible and waits for them to get to their room. Which the whole time they were having a discussion of, wait, do we have feelings for each other? Possibly, maybe, I don't know. And then they get to their room where at the point Bethany was like, I'd have to think about it. And then they open their door. And they essentially are both stunned. Poppy Mint had no idea that they...
So, this happened right at the end of the concert. So, they were basically sitting in my audience for a while discussing things.
Yeah.
And the part that Chase just brought up happened right at the end of the concert. So, other things also happened at the end of this concert. So, I'm going to take it from here, and then we'll come right back to you.
Absolutely.
All right, I'm going to use the restroom. You keep going.
Okay.
Ah, shit. I don't have the key. Okay, I'll be back.
Oakley dokley.
Wait.
Thank you, sir.
Nice. Okay, so Ron John's concert continues on for a couple hours. That's how long the florist had to do shit. And basically, how this boiled down, it's... They're sitting in my audience listening to me play random fucking songs, and this entire tour that I'm doing, basically, I'm calling it the Heartbreak Tour. Nobody knows why, and I haven't explained why, and I'm not about to explain why, because
At our
it's funny.
current point in the game, we still have no idea why.
Yeah. But once we reach the end of my concert, I get, a bunch of money tossed onto the stage. Pretha's up on stage with me by this point. She's been drinking a little bit of wine from like a doggy bowl. Really sad that CJ had to miss that part, but oh well. So I collect up my about 187 coppers worth, I think is what it was. And these two girls walk up to me, and they're drunk as shit. Like, they're absolutely just shit-faced. And they're just like, you were pretty cool. We like your music. And Ron John's just like, yeah, thank you. I try really hard to play good.
Wait a minute. Drunk women plus a singer sounds like a scary situation.
It does.
Okay, but is it?
No.
Okay.
Remember, Ron John is very sweet and innocent still. Yes, he does black magic, but he does not understand that it is wrong. So, and also the only woman he actually has any form of attraction towards at this current state is Mayonnaise, the goddess of sin. So he is very unsure of what he wants in life right now because of that.
Okay.
So these two girls just walk up to him and they're like, well, yeah, we're drunk and we think you're cool. And Ron John's like, that's sweet. And I just walk away at that point. CJ has returned.
Skidoo skidink. I peed in the pee sink.
Why not skidoo skidex? You poop in the poop vortex.
There you go.
So basically you missed me talking about how these two drunk girls walked up to me. And were like, we loved your music.
Okay.
So
what
Ron John walked away. Is
Yep.
where we were. And I start walking up behind Bethany and Esri a little bit to head back towards my room.
Yes.
And because we're living in the same hall is how that basically boiled down. We're in the same hallway, but we're not in the same room or anything like that. And I walk by and I hear them freaking out because they had just gotten into their room.
Yeah.
And they like come out of their room and they're like, did you do this? And I'm like, the fuck are you talking about? And they like pull me into their room and they're like, look at this shit. And there's just flower petals everywhere. There's chocolates on the bed. All the candles are lit. And I'm like, God damn it, Poppy Mint, I know you're around here. Why did you do this? And he comes out of air and he's like, I thought it would be fun.
No.
No?
Poppy Mint never left invisibility. He went straight in and was waiting for any cues that something went wrong and was willing to fix it in the only way he knows how, by forcing them to sleep in that room.
So so my character felt bad because I have a single.
Yeah.
So I was gonna give my key to one of them, and I was just like, okay, I'll just sleep in this room, and you guys can get a bigger room because I had a bigger room because I had a double bed, they had a single. Basically, is what it boiled down to. So I'm like, here, I start reaching for my key, and this fucker made a stealth check against me and pickpocketed my key off of me.
Oh my god.
So I no longer have a room key.
That's great.
So I'm annoyed now because I no longer. By the way, that counts as a watermark.
Of course, Poppy Mint doesn't have to deal with a room because he's got his mansion.
Yeah, so he's sleeping in his mansion, so he doesn't give a shit. So I go back down towards the front lobby to see if I drop my key on stage. And on my way back, I see one of the girls, the drunk girls from earlier, stumbling around. Her name is Serena.
Okay.
I managed to get that from her drunken, everything. And she's just like, oh, hey, you're the performer from earlier, Mr. Ranjan, right? And I'm like, yes, sirree. You doing okay? You look a little drunk. And she's like, I am. I'm trying to do a thing, and I can't find it. I was like, okay, well, let me help you. So it turns out she needed to go to the bathroom. So I walked her outside to the outhouses. And I made sure she got there okay, and I walked her back to her room. Remind you, I still don't have my keys.
Yeah.
And I'm aware I don't have my keys.
So you can't do anything.
I can't go back to my room. And she's actually sleeping in a room alone, I notice.
Ooh.
So she's very much dropping hints of, ooh, Mr. Ranjan, you should stay in my room with me. And I'm like, nah. It's like, no.
Of all the wrong things Poppy Mint taught you, he definitely made sure that you do not mess with people when they're drunk.
Yeah. Date rape is no joke. Anyway, that is a
Ranjan,
serious
that line
message.
better
Talker
That
of...
has to be cut out.
That's a serious message.
It's
not a joke.
Okay.
And I very much stood by that. That's the reason why I didn't do that. I didn't want to promote that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so, continuing on.
Yeah. So, I just turned down the one room I could sleep in because I no longer have my key. I know Poppy Mint has it, but I can't find Poppy Mint because he's still invisible, God knows where. I somehow managed to run into Doge, who was in the crowd, and he's doing I don't know what down by the bar. He doesn't drink, so he's probably getting food.
Yeah.
And I mentioned that my key was stolen, and he was like, oh, you can just sleep with me, my dude. And I'm like, that's big wholesome. So I ended up sleeping with Doge that night.
Hot.
Yeah.
All right, so next morning?
The next morning rolls around. God damn it. This fucking day. Okay. A lot happens.
Yes.
I'm going to preface this by a lot happens.
So Fibblethip is sober now, and Artie is missing.
So we now
because
realize-
Fibblethip abandoned him.
Yeah.
Well then.
Yep.
Esri and Bethany were forced to sleep in a room of romance, and were definitely turned off by it because of the situation that happened prior.
But they still did do some bonding.
Yay.
They slept with each other like normal sleeping.
Right.
Yeah. They woke up, they were kind of closer to each other, and they ate chocolate for breakfast because they were stressed.
But they never touched the wine.
Unfortunately.
So when Poppy Mint eventually finds out, is probably going to be a little mad.
So once the morning rolls
Did you drink
around...
the wine?
What?
Did you drink the wine? I mean, you bought it.
No, he wasn't in the building. He was in his mansion.
Oh, yeah.
So once the morning rolls around, I have to remember this because a lot of shit happened in a very specific order, and I'm probably going to fuck up the order, but that's not that big of a deal. As long as I touch on all of it. So I believe the first thing we did is we noticed that Fibblethip and Artie had not come back still.
Oh.
Well, no. As we were leaving, we were like, well, where the fuck are these two boys at? So as we're leaving the building, we see Fibblethip is starting to stumble in. Okay. And he's like, I don't know where Artie is.
Oh.
And we're like, huh. Well, that's interesting. We'll go get some sleep. We're going to look for him. So we go to the bar that they last saw Artie, and we get a couple leads. We know that the girl that stole him is an elf girl.
Oh, he got stolen.
By an elf girl, yeah.
Oh.
That's the last person he was seen with. So we know we're looking for an elf girl, and we know that she has a ruby necklace that's made of silver.
Of course, Bethany and Pratha are not with us, so they have...
Yeah, the people out are myself, Esri, and Doge.
Okay.
That is the group that we have.
3-man party.
3-boy party.
Okay.
So we were like, okay, well, we can get a good lead on that necklace if we go to a jewelry store. So I asked, of course, Doge, I was like, hey, you always look for jewelry. Is there a jewelry store in the town? He's like, yeah. And then he also mentions to Ranjan that he was looking at purchasing this like 40 gold ring that protects from psychic damage.
Yes.
So I get a big boy idea, but we'll touch on that because that's going to happen very soon. So we're walking. We get there. We're at the jewelry store.
Yes.
Fibblethip's still asleep in his room. I don't remember how he got his key, but I think I slipped it to him.
Yeah.
So we get to the jewelry store. We're like, hey, we got a lead on a person that probably kidnapped our friend. can you help us? And the jewelry store owner's a big prick. And he's like, well, you gotta make it worth my time. So I start stacking silver on the table. I was like, that's an insult to me, sir. So I pull it all off the table and I throw gold down. He's like, you have 1 hour of my time. So he goes through and he looks at all of his records. And while he's doing this, I look over at Doge. I'm like, when we walked in, we walked by a bunch of cases. What ring was it? And he gives me like the coordinates of where it was in one of the planes.
Yeah.
Like as if it was a grid plane. He's like, it was in this location. I'm like, okay, I think I remember what that ring was. Do you really want that ring? He's like, yeah, but you don't have enough money. I'm like, we don't need to have enough money.
You don't need money.
And he's like, what do you mean? It's like, I can turn invisible for quite some time. He's like, I guess that will work. So as we, the guy comes out and he gives us 3 leads on 3 people. Larissa, some other people, and that's what we got. We have three girls that bought necklaces that are similar to this necklace over the course of the last year. Mm-hmm. So we're like, cool, thanks. So we'll head out on our way. And on the way out, I open the door. Doge is holding it open. And I go around the corner, turn invisible, and walk back in. And while this is going on, Doge is like, hey, Hush. That's his dog's name, Hush.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, Hush, do some cute tricks for the people that are working because they look like they've been having a hard day. So the dog just starts rolling around, and all the customers and pretty much all the workers except for this one cashier start ogling at this dog.
Yes, dog.
And I'm making acrobatic saves to get to the fucking back of the store where this ring was.
Shit. All right.
So I get back there. I don't knock over. I bump a necklace, and it looks like the wind blew it.
Yeah.
That's whatever.
All right, that's
Which gets the cashier towards the front of the building. I start picking the lock. I roll a nat 20 on that fucker.
Oh, fuck.
I
nice.
basically touch it. It was popped open. He basically didn't lock it.
Nice.
Grab the ring, throw that into a pocket so that it turns invisible too. And I gently close the thing with my amazing stealth. Because I'm now, at this point, multi-classing into rogue.
Hey.
I'm a bard rogue now.
As of right now, I am a rogue multi-classing into paladin for combat damage.
That is very big interesting. I can't wait for our characters to meet.
That would be amazing.
Warlock multi-classing.
Oh yeah, we have to clear that bullshit up.
Oh,
this
yeah,
dumb
fuck
forgot to mention he wasn't a sorcerer. He's a warlock.
No, I said wizard in the last episode.
Oh, wizard. So yeah, you're a warlock. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Easy mistake.
Easy mistake.
Especially if you haven't played the character in a while.
Yeah, you're good. I mean, like, it's
Because
fine.
we had just got back off of break.
Yeah, we did when we first recorded.
So it's not that big of a deal. Anyway,
Yeah.
so I'm making my way back to the front of the store, and the cashier's walking right at me, and I have to dodge him. Otherwise, he's going to bump right into me, and I'm going to turn invisible in the middle of the store. So
Okay.
basically, I jump out of the way, and I run into this like giant mannequin with a bunch of jewelry on it, and that starts to fall, and the guy goes to jump at it to catch it, and he just he gives himself a concussion and cracks his skull open.
Oh my god.
So he's on the fucking floor. I'm just out of reach, and I scurry towards the front of the building, and I just run out.
God.
And as I'm running out, Esri comes back in to see what the fuck's going on, and she bumps into me and turns me full visible. But I'm like just outside of the door because she bumped into me. As I'm outside the door and she was inside the door, she kind of backed up a little bit into me.
Right.
And I turn visible. And I just turn around and I grab her by the hood. I'm like, listen, daughter, you're not getting whatever the hell you want pierced. I'm your father and I say so. And I just yank her out of the room. And one of these, everybody failed the insight check except for this one lady. She just turns around and she's like, that doesn't seem right. But because I had like this one, being a bard rogue, I get to force people to re-roll sometimes.
Okay.
With one of my abilities. I don't remember what the fuck it is. I'm horrible at playing my character. But she did a re-roll, so she got the save the first time, but she failed it the second time. So she was just like, that doesn't make sense, but I guess she could be adopted. And then she turns back over at the guy that just cracked his skull open. And she's like, oh no, somebody help him. And then Doge and his dog just leave the building and we're just walking back.
So what's this fucking ring that you decided to give a concussion to a guy for?
So this is a 40 gold ring. Like, that's how expensive this is. You know how much that translates
Yeah,
to?
$4,000 USD.
Yeah. Basically, this ring halves any psychic damage you would take.
Oh.
So it's useless to me because I deal psychic damage, so I'm therefore resistant to it too.
Okay.
But the one person in our party who isn't is Fibblethip. He's actually resistant to most forms of damage when he's raging, except psychic, where he's double weak to it.
Really?
So while he's wearing this ring, if he's raging, he takes normal damage from psychic damage and nothing else. Everything else is halved.
Really? Even poison?
Even poison damage. He resists poison. Due
Oh,
to some
shit.
other shit he's got.
Wow, that's actually really...
So he is a literal tank whenever he's raging.
Alright, so he is the tank in your combat.
Yeah, he is our damage sponge.
Alright then. So, during all this this heist, essentially, did you get the contact information about the lady?
Yeah, we had got that before we left.
Yeah, so you're going there now.
We're heading back to the inn to tell Fibblethip what we found.
Yeah.
And also to check that the girl... Oh, yeah, that's right. I went to check on Serena that morning, too, before we had left. And she wasn't doing so good. I knocked on her door to make sure she was okay. I heard her go, and then walk up at the door, and I could just smell this awful smell. And she was like, oh, hey. And I was like, are you okay? And she's like, uh-huh. And I was like, I'll send somebody up to help you.
So she woke up.
She did a shit the bed.
Oh, no. I thought I was thinking the throw up in the bed. But
She did a shit the
in
bed.
the bed. Oh.
She was taking a bath, though.
Yucky.
She took a bath after that, so she's probably fine by the time we got back.
They had to burn those sheets.
Yeah.
God.
Anyway, so we get back. We tell Fibblethip, hey, so here's what we've got. And I start my concert early that day.
Okay.
So I start my concert, and now Bethany and Pratha meet up, and they're going to go to a park or whatever. And then Fibblethip, Doge, and Esri leave to go investigate people as well.
Okay.
And Poppymint starts getting ready to sell his body.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot that happened that day, too.
Yeah.
So it all comes full around. We are now at the part, canonically, that Poppymint is going to sell his blood / wings / tears. So, if you want to take it from that and how you got to that assumption...
we can interrupt the important storyline with this, because this is hilarious.
Oh, it's fun. So, Poppymint wasn't really planning on selling his body at the time, but he was looking for stores that had, like, alchemist books, equipment, and just potions all around in
Did
general.
you realize that you're broke as shit?
Oh, yeah.
He's actually one of the richest people in both parties until you guys did your big fucking thing.
Yeah. I'm probably the richest party member.
No, Jim is.
No.
Jim has more money than you.
No.
He doesn't?
I have 437 gold.
Oh, E.
Oh, nice. So, he's looking for all of these alchemy stores. There's 6 of them in the town, but he only cares about 3. The one, it's like a little home mom and pop store. The lady's very nice. She even accounted for people of all sizes with her door.
Okay.
So, like, there's, like, the little door for, like, gnomes and smaller, big door for humans, giant door for anyone of,
Is it like a cascading door like in Kingdom Hearts 2, where it's like, big-ass door from that door is a regular door?
kind of, yeah.
Okay.
And so she's very nice, but she doesn't really have what he needs.
Yeah.
So he goes to this other place that's like a back alley sort of Hot Topic-esque place. Okay, it's all dark and dim. It's definitely very emo. And he gets in there. It's an alchemy store for alchemists who believe that alchemy has been moving away from its true meaning of turning lead into gold.
Okay.
And so, like, they've got all of these experimental potions. It's not the normal stuff you'd see from an alchemist. And he's flying in there. He's browsing this place. They have a lot of information. And eventually he noticed that all of the alchemists who are helping out regular folk are staring at him. And so this one guy approaches him and he's like, "Excuse me, sir, how may I help you?" And Poppyman immediately jumps to, "Hey, my eyes are here, not here." And he gestures to his wings. And then, so this alchemist is definitely cued in that Poppymint knows how valuable his body is, but at the same time, Poppymint has a realization that my body can get me a lot of stuff in this one.
Yeah, but you are a tiny motherfucker that will take a lot of damage if you yeah.
His, like, for the tiniest vial of blood, he could get 2 gold on the spot, and for one of his, or not one of his wings, for all of his wings, he can get 50. And if he were to go through a metamorphosis-esque thing or find a circle of mushrooms, he can grow back his wings pretty fast.
Oh, does Poppy Man know this stuff?
Not necessarily. Well, he knows about the circle of mushrooms, but he doesn't know about the metamorphosis.
Okay.
So, but while they are rare, they still exist in the world. So he's not really concerned about eventually coming across one.
Okay.
And so he essentially makes the deal with, hey, you'll get me an alchemy set, or make me an alchemy set, my size, for my house, for my wings, but I will also come back several times and sell you my blood.
Why do you need an alchemy set?
Because he wants to make potions for himself. Like tiny vials of potions.
Do you know how to?
He also bought several books. And that is the point where he loses all of his money because he buys quite a few books just for alchemy.
Okay.
Yeah. And then they take the first vial of blood. Next time he comes in, they'll take his wings. And then they'll give him the alchemy set.
Alright then.
And
Fair
so
trade.
after that, he's leaving with a little bit of exhaustion. He's essentially... He came with his beetle, Todoroki. So he essentially falls on the beetle and lets Todoroki bring him all the way back to his house for
House
him to...
Mansion Man?
Yeah.
Got it.
For him to go to sleep. And then he summons his pseudo-dragon, Orchid, to put him on the lawn so he can just get into the house. Because at the moment, he cannot fly with his exhaustion levels.
Oh, yeah.
Because while he gave a small vial of blood, he still gave blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which for him is a lot of blood.
Yeah, because he's the size of a Coke bottle, so yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so you're giving blood, and you're getting a bunch of, is it two gold for it?
Yes, for the small thing. For the big vial of blood, well, big relative to him. For a human, it's a normal size vial of blood.
Yeah.
If you were to, like, get your blood tested. But, for that, he would get 5 for a pop. But he would only be able to do it once during the duration of the town, whereas the small vials, he can do it several times for the duration, so he'll get more of a profit off of that one.
Okay. And then, what are they saying they will give you for your wings?
For the wings, that would be 50, but he's negotiated down to 25 gold plus the
alchemy. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well then, well that's all going on. What's everyone else doing?
So Rajad is doing his concert, and everybody else is on the lookout for this one chick because we got to find Artie.
Yes.
So they are out. They're going to people. We got addresses and shit. They're going to the people. They haven't gone to Larissa yet. Larissa's like the last person. They're gonna go check. So they go find the other two people, and they're like, "Hey, are you this person?" And they're like, "No, we're not. I don't know who the fuck you're talking about." And they do insight checks, and obviously, they're not lying. While that's going on, Pratha and Bethany are at the park, frolicking about, doing whatever the fuck shit they're doing, and they run into this one elf girl with a silver necklace with a ruby in it. She's wearing a nice green dress, and she's reading a book. And Pratha, being a toddler, walks right up to her and is like, "Hey, what's up? You look interesting. Can we talk?" Mind you, they know nothing about the person we're looking for.
Yeah.
They do. It's just they're not looking for the person. And it turns out, by the way, this is the person.
Oh shit.
So they found the person on accident. Basically, Bethany is coming over to Pratha like, "Hey, we should go now." But Bethany's like, or not Bethany, Pratha's like, "No, I want to go talk with her. She seems cool." So they're talking. They learned some cool stuff about this girl. I don't remember what it was because I wasn't paying attention.
She's an artist.
She's an artist.
She wanted to show off her art.
She wanted to show off her. That's what it was. Yeah, she wanted to show off her art.
Yeah.
So the two of them were like, "Yeah, sure, we'll go to your apartment and take a look at your art. What's the worst that can happen?" So they go to look at the art, and She casts sleep on them.
Oh no!
And the entire time Praith is just like, well, I fucked everything up. Give it like, I don't know, 2 hours later, the rest of the party shows up. This is Fibblethip, Doge, and Esri. They all pull up and they're like, hey, we're looking for this boy. Have you seen him? And this girl, Larissa's like, nope, I haven't seen him. And she failed the inside check, so everybody's like, uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
But really, though?
On God?
On God? And she's like, yeah, I haven't seen them. And she's like, and Fibblethip was like, well, you are the person that the guards, or that the bartender said you were last seen with Artie. And she's like, yeah, I took him to the guard station. And Fibblethip was like, well, that's interesting. I went to the guard station last night, and they never saw him at all. So why are they lying? And she's like, I don't know. Look, I've told you everything I can. So just leave me alone. And Fibblethip's like, if you let me into your house, we will never come back. We will compensate you. And a bunch of other shit. And she's just like, fine, come in. So they come into the house, and there's a bunch of statues everywhere.
Yeah.
I didn't describe this earlier because I kind of wanted this to be a shock. Because the most of the party would have seen this then.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of statues everywhere, and they're very, very lifelike. There's like these two girls that look like twins, intertwined and naked and holding up a candle. There's a couple statues over in the corner that are covered up with a blanket. Mm-hmm. One of them is about a gnome's height.
Oh.
Yeah. And then that's it. So they're looking around, and she's like, don't touch any of the statues. They're still getting work on. I'm still having to paint some of them. All this other shit. So they're like, whatever. Esri goes to the back of the house, or the apartment, and she finds a half a statue of a dragon and a half a statue of a Bethany.
Oh.
And she screams out, I found Bethany and Pratha. To which immediately Fibblethip responded by fucking falcon punching this bitch. Immediately just punched her. And she starts casting shit. They have a fight. I don't remember all the shit that happened. Doge puts a hunter's mark on her so they don't lose her. She tries to teleport outside. Fibblethip yeets himself out a fucking second-story window and lands on her. Starts wailing the fucking shit out. By the way, this is out in the open now. There's people watching this happen. He's just beating the shit out of this bitch, and they're just like, huh. This dwarf is beating the fuck out. And she gets down to like prone, 1 HP, that sort of shit. He grabs her by the hair and just drags her back into the apartment.
Wait, no. I was here for this session. What happened was they beat the shit out of her, and she was at HP. Then she teleported outside, but failed going down the stairs.
That's what it was, yeah.
And she toppled down and fucking smacked her head on the ground. And then Philip comes up and yanks her by the hair and up the stairs.
Yeah, it's been a while since we did this session. I wasn't involved with it. I think I was gone for most of this. I only got pieces of it. Mm-hmm. So that's what happened. They get back inside, and he starts taking his 96 daggers that he has in his bag of holding, and he starts pinning her to the fucking wall with them by her clothes. She wakes up, and she's like, ha ha ha, I'm not gonna fix them. And then he kills her, and then he brings her back to life with some magic. And by this point, the guards are called, and basically, we explain to them, hey, so this bitch has been cursing people. There's a lot of missing people from this city. She's got every single one of them, and she's turning them into statues.
Yup.
And they're like, huh, what do you want us to do? And Fibblethip was just like, go get Ranjan at the Half Moon Inn. So these two guards yeet the fuck off to go get me. I'm in the middle of a performance, playing away on the main Asia phone, and woo.
At this time, Inkblood, he's over there enjoying the concert,
In theory, yes.
Yes.
So these two guards interrupt my show very rudely. They just bust down the doors. They're like, fuck her.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, what's up? And they're like, so your daughter was paralyzed and turned into a statue. So I yeet the fuck out of the building, and I grab Poppy Mint, and we just start running the fuck down there. We get there in like 20 minutes.
I'm in his bag, by the way.
Yeah, you're like in my hood or some shit. So we get there, and Fibblethip's interrogating her, and he's like, you won't. And she's like, you won't ever figure out how to fix this. So I'm like, did you use magic to do this? And she's like, well, yeah, of course I did. So I go up to the statue of Artie, because that's the only one I know the location of, because we unpulled all the curtains, and the one that was covered up in the living room was Artie.
Yeah.
And I tried to use a dispel magic spell. Mm-hmm. That did nothing.
Really?
Well, shit.
Would it be a curse?
It was a curse. So she cursed them with I think it's a Curse of Statuesque or some shit like that. I think we homebrewed something.
Okay.
Basically, they were conscious but unable to move. They were fully aware of everything that was going on around them, and a lot of them were just caked in cement. And before I had gotten there, Fibblethip had taken a dagger and was trying to peel away the cement off of Artie. Turns out he got like halfway through Artie's arm and it was still cement, so he was like, well, I just carved Artie's skin off, probably. So that happened. Somebody goes and gets curse potions.
Yeah,
remove curse potions.
Yeah, Doge goes.
Doge goes out to do that.
Doge and Poppy Mint, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and
Oh, actually, yeah, Poppy Mint. You should, Chase. You should tell them what fucking happened there.
So Poppy Mint immediately thought of the actual alchemists that he went to sell his wings, and then he was like, as Doge and him are leaving, he was like, "Wait, they expect my wings the next time I come back." So instead, he leads them to the mom and pop store with the lady with the nice doors, and goes in privately, tells her part of the situation, more so the fact that he doesn't want to go where he said he would go, and then just kind of leaves it with that. And then she was like, I understand, and they were chatting for a very long time.
Yeah, so you're making fucking small talk with these people.
Okay, Poppy Mint doesn't understand time. And then eventually Doge comes inside, which, by the way, the situation Doge had was, oh wait, these people could be dangerous to him. So, instead he comes in, he's ready to fuck shit up, but here Poppy Mint and some lady are just chatting away. This lady's giving Poppy Mint these tiny pieces of pie, his size.
yeah.
You're eating pie!
You're eating pie, as at this current moment, Ron John is trying to keep Fibblethip from bashing this one bitch's skull in.
And he totally forgot to explain the situation of, oh hey, these people are in danger, they were turned into statues. So eventually Doge points that out, and then the lady and the old man was like, oh wait, this sounds like a serious situation, hold on. And then he goes back for like 2 hours making just a bunch of potions for these people.
God.
But Poppy Mint, forgetting time, still is chatting with this lady. And she, by the end of it, she gave him like 8 pieces of pie. He totally cannot walk. Well, he can walk, but
jeez,
totally,
you were just like stuffed to the brim.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Definitely gonna regret that pie later. But it was totally worth it, because what she was doing is she had a regular pie made, was taking slicing out a normal piece, cutting down the tip, and then taking crust and forming it into a regular pie slice for Poppy Mint. So this lady, being as nice as she was to Poppy Mint, really made this great.
Jesus, dude. People are getting beat the shit out of.
But Poppy Mint doesn't understand time.
Your friends are dying.
For Poppy Mint, urgency means it can be done within 300 years.
God.
That's horrible.
Okay,
eventually,
so what happens next?
Eventually,
Do you eventually get to eating your fucking pie?
Well,
eventually we realize that Esri has a Dispel Curse.
Okay.
As one of her slots for spells, so she heals Bethany, Pratha, and Artie. And we leave.
Okay.
But once this old man is done making his potions, he gives it to Doge to bring to the people. Doge and I get outside of the shop. Doge decides to become hostile and puts Hunter's Mark on Poppy Mint. But Poppy Mint noticed because he wasn't really being secretive about it.
Yeah.
So Poppy Mint tries casting Sleep on Doge as more of a...
It didn't go good.
Don't fuck with me. And then Doge casts... What is it? Spike Growth?
Yeah. Spike Growth.
Spike Growth on the ground. So Poppy Mint can't move. But obviously he has his pseudo dragon, so he has his pseudo dragon pick him, like he summons his pseudo dragon, has him pick him up and fly him back to his cart.
What do you mean he suddenly becomes hostile? You are no help in this situation.
Yeah, you are not helping whatsoever.
Hey, he got pie.
You name this like it helps.
It does help. He
Actually,
got 8
Doge
pieces
didn't
of
even get pie.
Yeah.
Doge didn't even get pie.
Doge
You
didn't get
kicked
pie.
him out. You kicked him out of the building. That was the thing I was there for. You kicked him out of the building so you could bitch about the other people.
Yeah, I was there too. At the beginning of it, you kicked him out saying you could deal with this problem just so you could get pie.
No, I didn't know there was going to be pie. I just didn't want to go to the other alchemists. So I was explaining that situation to the lady.
God.
Horrible. So anyway, the party's walking, the rest of the party, Ezri, myself, Bethany, everybody but Doge and Poppy Mint. You know, all the NPCs are with us.
Yeah.
We're walking back. I'm comforting Pratha. Bethany and Ezri are kind of snuggled up with each other as we're walking back.
Yes.
When we get back, I continue my concert from where I left off, minus the charming, but I still got a really high roll, so who gives a shit?
Yeah.
And everybody's just chilling now, except for Artie and Fibblethip. They go out for another round of drinking, but they kind of tie themselves together this time.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so at this point, is like Artie's like arm like chiseled in?
No, because we had also done healing spells, he was fine.
Okay.
He was like, my arm hurts, and he had like a little bit of a scar, but like that was it. We stuck the clay back on before he was uncursed.
Okay.
So yeah, I continued with my thing. Pratha was back up on up on top of the stage. I forgot the word for stage. Jesus Christ.
Wow, it's like you.
I got done playing one of my songs. By the way, Ron John wrote a country song about eating ass and smoking weed.
Hell yeah.
So
Oh my god.
I played that for Serena. I was like, I wrote you a song, and I performed that, and she flashes her tits at me.
Hey!
So I was actually the first person in the party to get to any of the bases. I may not have been the first one to get sex, but I was the first person to get to any base.
Fair enough.
So Megan can eat shit.
I beg to differ. I believe those alchemists wanted to go to so many bases with Poppy
Chase,
Mint.
They
shut
did not
the
find
fuck
you
up.
sexually attractive.
No, they find his ingredients
Sexually
very
attractive.
attractive.
They got turned on by it because of the money. They don't want to fuck your blood.
It might make good lube, though, because you'd be tripping balls while you're having sex. So, basically, after I get flash hits, I play like 2 or 3 more songs. Fibblethip barges back in, and he's like, we're gonna go fight a dragon. Shit, I mean goblins. So we gather up myself, basically everybody in the party except one of the NPCs.
Yes.
Bethany. And we don't take Pratha with us. We all, in addition to 2 other NPCs, this guy called Gruff. He's an orc. And this other weakling fucker, he ends up getting sent back, so he's not important. We all get together, including Poppy Mint, and we start going out to hunt these goblins. That is actually just a horde of goblins protecting a dragon.
Oh, okay. Well, with that, I believe that'll be the end of our
Yeah, that's where we
episode.
are. We're actually in the middle of that encounter right now.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining in today. And
Oh, we still got, like, time. We can talk
Remember
more
to
stuff.
always have
Like-
enough ice cubes on your roof.
That question.
Weren't
I
you
swear.
leaving?
Yeah,
Weren't you supposed to leave?
Not yet.
Okay.
okay.
There.
Well, okay then. Well, in my campaign, all right. Just what happened was, one night we're hanging out, and I decided that I wanted to cause some mischief, right? In the town that we have not left.
Oh my god, this story.
In the entirety of our campaign. All right. So we get back from our quest in the desert. We have a new party member, and we get back after 5 days of travel, and then out of nowhere, Ink decides, I'm gonna go out, cause some havoc, or at least look for some havoc, and
Is this
stop
the
it.
story about how you did that one thing to a person?
Wow.
No, that's an entirely different story. I'm talking about
We
last
need to tell
night.
that next time.
All right,
That's
definitely,
hilarious.
definitely. Ink at this time is a part-time cannibal, part-time murder. No, yeah, definitely murderer, not part-time. Yeah, that's an
your
occupation.
full-time job.
That's an occupation, definitely. And so he's walking around the streets, and a mob boss comes up to him like, "Hey, Ink, what's up, man?" I'm like, "Oh, hey, yeah, it's you again. Hey, you want to have a job?" Yeah. So essentially, what that did that night, I went to the mayor's house, blew up his house.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He said, "Hey, I need help with this job because this motherfucker didn't pay up."
So you blow up your mayor's house, but you give me shit for trying to steal 20 gold?
Hey, hey. It was a job.
I give both of you shit.
Yeah,
You're both fucking
You
horrible.
can give me shit from me. I don't care.
Like, fuck both of you at this point. Fuck.
Yeah. So we find in his basement all like a bunch of prostitutes that he used.
You mean fun time?
Yeah. He bought those women and he cut them.
But did he get rid of their teeth?
It's probably in there somewhere. He cut them up and made a human taxidermy.
Oh.
Yeah, he made like human centipedes and very weird macabre art. Like even with the babies, even with the pregnant ladies. And so yeah,
That's not okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go into detail with that for the. And,
We've already hit some fun topics on this podcast already.
Yeah. And at that, the job was to blow up the house to send a message to all the motherfuckers that don't pay up. All right, they get smacked down hard. And so I blow up the house, looting out throughout that, and with that, I got some cool art from it. And the guy, my payment was 6 more charges of napalm and C4, and that was my payment. And from that, I found a lockbox, essentially, and after everything was said and done, I opened it, and it was 400 gold pieces that were unminted, covered in runes. I don't know what that is, so next time, I'm going to investigate that. But then, I go back to the bar, and our new party member, he tried to free a slave ring, and he's really bummed out about that. And I said, "Hey man, what's wrong?" He tells me what happened, and I said, "Oh, I can imitate voices. I have a disguise kit. I can help you out, man." He's like, "Oh, okay." I said, "Hold up a moment. Let me go up to my room and."
Wait. You can imitate voices and have a disguise kit.
Yeah,
we could have Ron John and Rim Jim, the performing band.
Hell yeah.
Because you have a high as shit charisma, too.
I do.
Oh my god. That'd be great.
I have, I am proficient in disguise kit. Yeah, and I can speak any person's voice for up to a minute, as long as I've heard them before. And we also have the Cactus King, a goblin of the Cactus tribe.
Isn't he the only one?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
He's king by default.
He's king by default. And I go up to my hallway.
Does he have any actual political power?
He's of his tribe, which is him.
Okay.
He controls himself.
But in terms
Isn't he
of
also?
trade with
Isn't he
other
owned
people?
by somebody? I thought he was a slave.
Yeah, he's an ex-slave that, but I've grown so much a kinship for him that if I find his previous master, I will slit his throat. So yeah.
What's his name?
We don't know, so we call him CK, the Cactus King.
Okay.
And then I go up to my room. He's just sitting there, really sad. And he sits there like, "I ate my key."
I ate my key.
Ate my key. And then so I'm like, "Okay, do you trust me, man?" He's like, "Yeah." And so yeah. So I force him to throw up, and he's high off his asshole because he's drinking very bad cactus juice.
Oh yeah.
So he's like, "Oh, I love that." And so he does it himself. He's like, "Okay, just go in your room and do it in a bucket." And he's like, "I have a wicker basket. Does that work?" And then we're like, "Yeah, that works." It's gonna leak.
Basket.
It's gonna leak. So
Hilarious.
then from that, I wipe off my shit on my pants, and so I go to my room. My payment's there. And I pick up my briefcase full of C4 charges, and I said, "All right, let's do some work." And from that, he takes me down to the slave rink, and I said, "Okay, fair enough." There's about like 28 thugs in there for hired guards. I go down the street. I look down houses to see if any of them's abandoned. I chuck a C4 charge in one of them, go down 10 more feet, chuck one on the other side of the street, go back up to my new party member. His name is Jorg, by the way. And so I look him dead in the eyes and detonate them. And at this time, half the lower city is on fire. It's all burning. I think that's where we'll leave off.
Yeah. I think that's a good place to leave it. So, as we mentioned earlier, please tell us. Please leave suggestions in the comments for what you want us to put in the background of these, as we're still trying to resolve what we want to do.
Yeah. And then thank you for joining us on the Sex Dungeons and Dragons podcast. I had a stroke there, and I will see you later.